Hey everyone, welcome back and happy Wednesday. I just went through, by the way, if you're listening, Wendy from Starbucks, I went through Starbucks this morning and she says, "Good morning, happy Thursday." And I was like, "No, Wendy, I think it's Wednesday." She said, "No, honey, you're wrong. It's Thursday." I'm like, "Oh shit, I have a plane to catch tomorrow." And then I was like, "No, you're wrong, Wendy. It's Wednesday." So happy Wednesday. That was the whole point of that conversation. But guys, pop off in the comment section. Let us know where you're watching from. Don't forget to hit that like button. We're back to talk about the Valley After Show. And a lot of these jabs, especially coming from Ariana Madix's brother, Jeremy Madix, which I feel like you don't really have a leg to stand on a whole lot. Like, didn't you just get arrested in Florida at an airport for how many pounds of marijuana was it? And weren't you trying to go to like Germany or something? I don't know. And then yeah, we'll get into all of it. We have some clips to play. So smash the like button, show some love. And let's go. Okay, guys, so what I guess is so pressing right now and what everybody is talking about is the fact that Janet Caperna was a fan of Vanderpump Rules when they all met. Okay, well, Brad, who, I don't know, what is he? I know that when I knew him 10 years ago, he wanted to be like a fashion correspondent on E! Or something like that. And then I think maybe he wanted to do design work. I actually don't know what he does. But he met the cast as a total fan and they all became really, really close friends. So this is kind of what happens. It's like, I think it's kind of dumb to meet somebody who you see who's on TV and be like, "Oh, what's your name? I don't know you," unless you actually really don't know them. But in this case, yeah, you're a fan. And for Janet Caperna, maybe she did start off as a fan of the show, of what Vanderpump Rules was, but they all quickly sort of integrated into the same social circles. And if that is the case, which I believe that she probably started off as a fan, it was a long ass time ago, you guys. But I'm going to play some clips. Here we go.
That history, like when you hear Janet talk about the times you had before, do you feel like her assessment of that lines up with your kind of recollection?
I was shocked that she actually even brought that up, because my issue with Janet was starting in season 1. I feel like when we started filming, the Janet that I considered really one of my best friends for a few years was, and I don't use that term as lightly as Sheena does, but Janet and I were very, very close. And when we started filming, I like lost that friend. Like she became, in my opinion, like someone who was performing. It was very performative for the show and like what reality people should look like on camera. And it was very confusing. So for her to bring that up, I was like, yeah, you're right. And where'd that girl go? And in season 1, she was saying negative things about me when they brought my ex-boyfriend on, and she was there for me throughout that breakup. So it was all just really confusing.
I think like that history, like when you hear Janet talk about the times you had before.
You know what, though? That's a good point, too, because Kristen wouldn't be able to clock the fact that maybe Janet did come off a little bit more performative, which that could be the case. I think that the camera does that to a lot of people, but I don't necessarily think that makes you a fan. Jeremy Madix, though.
Do you feel like her assessment of that lines up with your kind of recollection?
I was shocked that she actually even brought that up, because my issue with Janet was starting in season 1. I feel like.
Okay, so Jeremy said, all facts, she fooled every last one of us, still is fooling all of us. Okay. Let's keep going.
He always knew, like, we don't have that kind of money, but he wanted to feel like he was them.
He's always keeping up with the Joneses.
And he's constantly texting me, we still have to share health insurance until we're divorced. So every month he tells me how much I owe him for health insurance. And he's like, you need to send it to me now because I don't have any money. But in the same breath, he has no problem tagging and going out to Craig's that night to have a fancy dinner.
Wild. He basically spent majority of the money that they had whenever they were together, didn't leave her with very much.
He like racked up a bunch of debt, right?
Racked up so much debt and now is trying to put it on her. And it's like just all these different like really bad things that he's done. Michelle brought herself a bracelet. Like, I think like one time she bought a bracelet once and a purse once. And Jessie was so mad that she bought those things for her. She don't ever buy stuff for herself.
We always knew like we don't have that kind
Okay, so that's interesting because then I saw, I saw where Bravo and Cocktails came out with this saying on the after show, Michelle said that we were very successful. The problem was once I had a baby, I was working less and he just stopped working and he got comfortable and he just thought like, okay, I'm just going to start spending, but not continue to make. We did have millions of dollars and that money was gone. And Jessie said, Michelle and I were 50-50 business partners. So if our business was failing, we're both at equal fault. Michelle had 100% access to all of our accounts, from investment accounts to Isabella's savings accounts to shared personal accounts. So if there was an issue with spending, Michelle is 100% at fault as well. Well, that's not, hold on. Let me take it back over to the Bravo investigator here real quick. Give a shout out to them. But wait, let me just say really quick. That's not necessarily true either. Like, just because okay, we're not both at fault if you go and you spend all of the money. If you go spend the money and your spouse doesn't necessarily know, like this happens a lot. It happens to couples a lot. Sure, are you at fault for maybe not, like knowing how much money was going out and understanding what the financial decisions being made were? Maybe. But if one party is out here just spending like you got it and the other one is not, now you're sort of gaslighting the situation, being like, well, you had access to all those accounts and you should have known that I was spending the money that I was spending. So this is also partially your fault. And it's like, what in the fucking kind of bullshit ass answer is that? I'm just saying. Jason would be like, no. I would be like, off with your head.
Were you honest with the rehab center the first time about your drug use?
Brittany says that I wasn't. But yeah, I was very, very honest. But was I going through the motions a little bit more? Yeah. I don't have any words. It was just a very, very, very bad time for me. And I was at rock bottom and I didn't know what to do. Because again, I was so in my head that I was being talked about.
He's 45 and he has a 3.
I mean, technically he wasn't wrong, but he wanted to hurry up the rehab process. This is also what I'm not quite understanding in this moment. It's like you wanted to hurry up the rehab process and get out because you thought that they were talking about you. Wait, hold on. It continues.
I was trying to hurry along the process. I'm like, I don't have a problem, which I knew I had a problem. It took me to quit alcohol and drugs to realize I had a drug problem.
Were you honest with the rehab center the first time about your drug?
And you know what else is funny about that scene is on the after show, Tom Schwartz, like, I feel like he's just not a good liar. Even though he fooled so many people about Scandal for a long time until people started asking him about what was going on with Scandal. And then that's when we learned like, oh, you're a shitty liar. Love Tom Schwartz though. But for this, you can see where he's looking up like, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I feel like you can see. But I want to hear what you guys think. Guys, pop off in the comment section. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And also, don't forget to go check out our live with Ashley and Amani from Taste of Reality. That was our live recap of the Valley. That came out today. So, yeah, if you didn't join us on Up and Adam Channel 1, then go be a part of the replay crew. Love you guys.